Happy Monday morning to all the branches out there, the natural branches, the unnatural branches. What's going on? Man, it's a cold one this morning here in Ohio. Woke up, it was -2 degrees. Hope everybody else is faring well. But nothing working right here this morning, man. Nothing. Nothing working right. Boy. Woo. Man, what a weekend. What a weekend. What's going on with these Epstein files, bro? Hey, y'all think the Epstein files is a smoke screen? Y'all think something else is going on behind the scenes? And they just using the Epstein files as a smoke screen to get us to look the other way while they're pulling something behind our backs? I mean, I kind of got that feeling because they do that all the time. But at the same time, some of the stuff that's coming out in these files is pretty bad and pretty damaging and telling. Like, for instance, exposing the Rothschilds. Exposing the Rothschilds. Like, for the longest, nothing touched them. They didn't get no dirt on their names. Like, it was always suspicion and rumors and stuff, but no smut touched their names, right? Now we got smut touching their names. I don't know. And it's tying it back to Israel, too. Which, I mean, we all knew already, but we all speculated already. But now it's actually hitting the mainstream and everything. See, but at the same time, that's what makes me think it's a smokescreen, because the mainstream media is reporting on it. That's what makes me think it's a smokescreen. And something else is going on. I don't know. I can't really read the comments because, as you guys can see, I'm driving. I can't look down and read the screen. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll go back and look at them later. I just feel I had this feeling like something else is going on behind the scenes, and this is all a smoke screen. It's all a ploy. Whatever it is, it's got to be worse than what's coming out in these files, in these emails. Yeah. Nicki Minaj found out she got played. I think she was set up from the beginning. Like, where was her PR team? Like, who was there to tell her ahead of time? Like, look, Nick, look, Queen. I don't think this is a good move for you. Do not mess with them. Your demographic, your fans, do not mess with them. So it's probably not a good look for you to go and be Donald Trump's spokesman against Nigeria, because a lot of your fan base is going to be on the side of Nigeria. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case is. Turns out she got played. I mean, she did it. What's she doing it for? A green card? Trying to get her husband pardoned or something? I don't know. Still, you was about to sell your soul for a piece of paper? Nick, come on. Come on, Nikki. Somebody, her PR team was supposed to be there and be like, yeah, nah, Queen, this ain't a good move, right? Don't do that. But no, they let her go ahead and do it. Let her go ahead and do it. Just trashed her career. Yeah, I think that was a setup from the beginning. Had to have been. Either that or she just ain't got a good PR team. I mean, because you see what happened when Horseface tried to endorse Kamala Harris. She caught a lot of Kamala caught a lot of backlash because of that. What's her face? Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah. So I don't know what Nicki was thinking, bro. You're a rapper. Stay out of politics. Nobody wants to see you talking politics. Grab a mic, get up here and rhyme, and just do that. Stay out of politics. Yeah, and I don't know what's going on with YouTube this morning. I woke up. You know, I got a new alignment. Told the Most High, thank you for waking me up. You know, said my prayer. Open up YouTube. My homepage. Nothing but talking about The history of the Khazars, I don't know why. The history of the 48ers, I don't know why. I mean, I know the history. And of course, these videos, they're misleading. You know, they act like they're going to lead you down one path, like the path of truth, but they don't, of course. They're propaganda. That's what it is. And I know why they put them on my homepage, but I wasn't looking at those subjects because I already know the truth. So for them to just pop up on there means that they're actively putting them out on certain channels for a reason. Like this one I just watched. I couldn't even watch the whole thing because it was just so full of cap. Like I'm 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the video, I had to stop it and pause it and just comment on it. Like, bro, this video is cap. Like it's a whole hour-long video. I made it 5 minutes into it to where I just couldn't stand it no more. Like you just told one of the biggest lies, and I can't stand it no more. Like, dude. And the lie was, first of all, dude put up fake DNA and try to say this is proof that these people aren't related to these people. This is without a doubt proof. Well, no. I'm looking at the proof and I'm like, okay, this looks like nothing I've ever seen before. And I've seen their so-called proof and it looks nothing like this. Wow. Birds apart. Okay, all right. And never seen nothing like this. These numbers and the way this is lined up is starting to look real fishy. So of course, I took the screenshots, did the numbers, and put it into a couple things. Yeah, fake DNA. The DNA ain't even supposed to pop up like that. That's how goofy it is. So I'm like, of course I commented on the video and told him, like, bro, I don't know who you thought was gonna fall for this. You thought you was flashing that DNA real fast, but you forgot about the pause button. And yeah, this DNA you put up here is because I've seen 48er DNA. Real DNA. Like somebody posted up thinking it was proof, and it actually wasn't. And of course, I screenshot it and took it. I've done that to a couple people. You posted it online. It's fair game, right? And so I'm looking at what dude posted. Okay, I'm looking at it. I see no step DNA. I see nothing saying Germany. I see Poland, and then I see a whole bunch of Ashkenazi. I shouldn't even be saying this because they go black video. 48er, and then it starts going into Yemenite, and then it says Turkish, Sephardic, Turk, and it's like that don't even make sense because Turkish Jews aren't Sephardic, or Yemenite Jews aren't Sephardic. So that's what really gave it away to me. That's like, okay, now I really need to do the numbers on this because Sephardic are from Spain, not Yemen. So that's what really gave it away. Like, yo, bro, you messed up right there. And then he goes in this, starts talking about how the Khazars and the Scythians didn't convert to the religion, and the 48ers had nothing to do with them, either one of them, which is completely false. It's completely false. I'm gonna give you the history on it. Now, I did do a video on it, but of course I did a shorts video on it, but of course it didn't get pushed out. Here's how it actually went down. The Scythians were one of the first people in that area, the Rhineland. Okay? In case you don't know where the Rhineland is, it's like part of Germany, Russia area. Okay? The Volga River area, right? The Scythian people were one of the very first people there. Well, that civilization fell. And after that civilization fell, the Khazars moved in. And they were the ruling class. Now, the Scythians were still there. The Khazars were ruling over them. Now, When the Khazars converted, which they did convert. The ruling class did. The Scythians converted also, because the Scythians were joining offices, Khazar offices, political offices, the military, and all that kind of stuff. You had to convert. So the Scythian people were converting too. They're all converts. Now, when the Khazars fell, for some reason, there's 200 years of history missing from that area. 200 years. Suspicious, huh? And then all of a sudden, the 48ers pop up in that area. Just out of the blue. But there's no links. Same area. But there's no links because the language the language they speak and the Khazarian language are nothing like each other. That's the reason there's no link to it. That's what they said. But here's the thing: the Scythian people and the 48ers have a genetic link, and it's that R1 haplogroup. They both belong to the R1 haplogroup, which are brother haplogroups. Come on now. Y'all thought we was dumb, huh? Y'all thought we was that stupid. But they didn't count on DNA tests being available in the future. That's why they ain't allowed to take them over there where they at now. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They'll try to tell you that R1 haplogroup comes out of the Levant. It doesn't. It doesn't. They'll try to tell you that the J1 haplogroup comes out of the Levant. It doesn't. It comes out of the Rhineland. Or is it J1 or J2? One of the J's comes out of the Rhineland. The other one comes out of Yemen. They're not related. Now, the same video where the guy was lying about the DNA, he actually told on himself. But if you don't know anything about haplogroups, you'll never catch it. So what he goes on to say, he goes on to break down the haplogroups of the 48ers. Well, one haplogroup he throws in there, he tries to put the fancy name on it, EM123. He tries to say that's an Ashkenazi haplogroup. Think about the first part of that, E. It should all of us, because E is an African haplogroup. You have to look like this to have that haplogroup. And he even says it on there. The E haplogroup is a Levantine haplogroup. Yes, it is. I'm glad that you said that and admitted it. It is a Levantine haplogroup. But guess what? You have to look like this to have it. Explain that. EM123 is actually E1B1. It's a subclade of E1B1. See, he tried to put a fancy name on it. So people who didn't know about haplogroups didn't know what he was talking about. They do that all the time. They try to play these little word games and semantics and stuff, so they don't think people are catching on. But they're really telling on themselves. They do it all the time. All the time. These little subtle ways they tell on themselves. Dr. Michael Brown does it all the time. Tells on himself all the time. All the time. He's the one that got me to looking into the Scythian people and what's the connection. Because he told on himself. He tried to say the Scythian people were the real Ashkenazi. And I'm like, that don't make sense. And even if they were, it's related to them. He tells on himself all the time, just like this dude just told on himself. You basically just said Africans are from the Levant. At least my people are from the Levant. If you carry the E1 haplogroup, you're from the Levant, because the E haplogroup originated in the Levant. It doesn't matter if you're E1B1 or E1B1A or E1B1B. Haplogroup originated in the Levant. Your ancestors all come from the Levant. The Levant is Israel. Israel, Lebanon. They can't deny it. They can lie about it all they want. They'll lie about it and say, oh, E1B1 comes from the Horn of Egypt area. E1 or E1B1B. E1B1A comes from West Africa. But E1B1 originated in the Levant. Okay, how is that possible when E1B1A and E1B1B all came from E1B1? That means they had to come from the Levant because they're the children of E1B1. E1B1A and E1B1B are brothers, but they're the children of E1B1. E1B1 didn't leave the Levant and give birth to these two. They gave birth to them in the Levant. Then those two moved out of the Levant. One stayed on the east. One went west. Now, where the EM123 comes in, that one stayed in North Africa. That's another brother. They're basically triplets. That's what I'm saying. Those three haplogroups all lead back to one common ancestor in the Levant, and that's E1B1. You have to be African, dark-skinned African, to have that haplogroup. Not from Europe. Now, could there be paler people today with that haplogroup? Yeah, because of mixing. Excuse me. Yeah, because of mixing. I have a mixed son. If he turns around and has a child with a Caucasian woman, that child more likely is going to be Caucasian, and that child's going to have an E1 or E haplogroup because my son has an E haplogroup. So that child's more likely going to have an E haplogroup. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them walking around here like that. But I guarantee ain't none of them claiming 48er. Maybe Drake. Maybe Drake. No, jury's still out on him. We don't know about his dad. He's kind of a creep, so maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do a video later, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about with dude's DNA. I'm gonna put up a shorts video later. Yeah, you guys can see how fake it is. I'll put up a shorts video with his DNA, and then I'll put up some real 48er DNA, so you guys can compare it. And you'll be like, oh yeah, you got to be a dummy to fall for this one. They be playing these games. They playing these games because they know what's coming. It's already here, matter of fact. They know they head getting tap danced on, for real. Their head is getting tap danced on. But there was a rumor they were supposed to be playing a Super Bowl ad. I didn't watch it. I didn't see the ad, but I turned on the game a little late. I wonder if they played it. It was supposed to be about some kid getting bullied in school. He was really getting talked about or whatever. They put a sign on his backpack and some crap. And some kid came and stuck up for him. It was a real corny commercial, but they always want to show these commercials during football. It's like, bro, why are you showing ads for a foreign country during our football games? Like, why is that? Why are you showing ads promoting the safety of a foreign country during our American football games. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because it was a little bit one. I could have sworn. Now, first of all, I'm 46. I was born in 79. So, like, when I was a little kid, it was like the 80s. But basically, I grew up in the 90s, for real, right? But I could have sworn back when I was a kid, they told us the ones that was throwing the rocks at the tanks was the Israelis. And the ones in the tanks were the Palestinians. I could have sworn they told us that when we were kids. And the ones in the tanks were the bad guys. I could have sworn that was the scenario they told us when we were kids. Matter of fact, I even remember a friend of mine made this specific joke. Man, you don't want to mess with the Israelis because they're crazy enough to throw rocks at a tank. It turns out, no, we is completely wrong. It's the other way around. I mean, the ones in the tanks are still the bad guys, but still. Kind of wild. And it's kind of wild, like, all this stuff that we thought was like conspiracy theory, like far out left or right, wherever you want to put it, is actually being confirmed to be true when it comes to some of these people and their involvement and stuff. It's wild. Like, the world, we're starting to realize that the world really isn't as it seemed. Like, there really is stuff going on behind the scenes and behind the background. Like, there really is people pulling the strings. Like, the national debt for every country. All these countries really owe one family. That's wild. And they'll never be able to pay off all their debt. That's because the way the system is set up. These countries will never be able to pay off all their debt because of the way this one family has the system set up. Which is wild. I mean, it's ingenious. It's wild. And they use that as leverage against these countries. Crazy. The same family was being represented by Jeffrey Epstein. Crazy. It's crazy. Ain't that just crazy? Wild. And in 2014, they was talking about the upheaval of Ukraine. What, 12 years ago? They was plotting to overthrow Ukraine. Or at least to cause political turmoil so they can get some business or political opportunities out of it. And that's what they do. They make money off of these wars and stuff, off of both sides of the wars. I mean, they're not the only ones that do it. Our government does it too. A lot of people do it. A lot of these powerful people do that. Like in the movie Lord of War with Nick Cage. A lot of people do that. Play both sides, get the money. That's exactly what this family was going to do. Epstein was going to broker it for him. Then I guess they paid him like 25 mil for him to give them some kind of algorithm for something. I don't know what that was about. I didn't really get into that whole thing. I'm just going off of, what I was being told and everything. I kind of stay away from like the Epstein files and all that kind of stuff, just because I'm concentrating on so much other stuff. I'm really trying to just stay grounded in my religion and everything right now. and I don't want to chase the distractions. You know what I mean? But I mean, sometimes it's hard, especially when it's kind of tying in. It's kind of tying into your religion and who you actually are. You know what I'm saying? It's because if you think about it, since I can remember, they've always wanted to be us. They've always wanted to be us. If you go back to the Beastie Boys, they wanted to be us. What was the movie with Eddie Murphy, Laura London, and Jonah Hill not too long ago? I hated that movie, by the way. The only reason I watched it is because Eddie Murphy and Laura London was in it. It was something like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner or something. What the heck is the name of that movie? I didn't like it because they had Eddie Murphy playing as like the angry black dude, and then they had the other only black dude in it. They had him playing like a bum. He was like in the beginning of the movie. He was like a bum. And then of course Jonah Hill, the Jewish dude, comes to rescue Laura London. Like her knight in shining armor. It's like no, See, like y'all want to play the black dudes, and they had no. That's why I didn't like the movie. But and in that movie, the dude wanted to be a commentator on black culture. It's like, what do you know about black culture? You know what I mean? He had a podcast where he was commentating on black culture. No, nothing about it. Hated that movie. And I'm normally a fan of Jonah Hill because he's pretty funny, but I didn't like that movie. I can't think of the name of that movie for nothing. But yeah, that movie, I really didn't like that movie, and I was kind of upset with Eddie Murphy for even playing in it. Really, I understand why Laura London did it. I mean, I think that was her first movie since Nick died, right? I ain't saying she needed the money or anything, but she probably wanted to try to get back in the swing of acting, try to get back to working or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, they've always wanted to be us. Always. You think about it. Go back in history. If you know your history, when our ancestors were in Spain, they came down, they got kicked out of France, came down to Spain, and was trying to intermingle with our ancestors in Spain, but our ancestors wouldn't intermingle with them. They were trying to do that because they wanted some legitimacy. They wanted some legitimacy to try to say they had some ties to the Levant then. But our ancestors had already knew, nah, dog. And they would actually excommunicate you if you messed with a German. This is documented history. Yeah, it's all documented. If you messed with a German, woman or man, in Iberia, Andalusia, they would excommunicate you. Put you out of whatever Jewish group, tribe you're in. Because you were not allowed to mess. You can mingle with any other group, not the Germans. Not the Germans. And I'm not talking about any Germans, that one specific German group. That one specific German group. They did not mess with at all. But then slavery comes around, and now they're getting forced to mess with them. Yep. That's what happened. That's what was going on in the Caribbean. Yeah, you can see the grave. You can go down there and look at the grave sites. They got Jewish cemeteries where you got the man, you got his wife and family, and then buried with him, you have his mistress, aka slave, and their kids. Yeah. And I was told that by a Jewish dude. Hmm. Yeah, they're mulatto kids. That's why they changed from patrilineal to matrilineal. Yeah, so they could try to establish some legitimacy in their lineage. Because like I've been saying, this ain't about race, y'all. It's not about race. It's not about color. This is about lineage and covenant. They want us to believe it's about race, it's about our race, and it's about our color. Because you know why? That keeps us divided and separate. It keeps us fighting. That keeps us arguing. That keeps us out of alignment. That keeps us in disobedience. You know what I mean? That keeps us ignorant. That's exactly what they want. That's exactly what they want. Because they know that keeps us distant from the Most High. The Most High, y'all, that's our power base. 11:11. That's our power base, y'all. That's where we get our power from. They know that. That's like the Silver Surfer. Y'all know the Silver Surfer, he got his power from his board. Yahuwah. Yahuwah is our board, y'all. That's where we get our power from. We get our power from Yahuwah, invoking his name in our prayers. That's why they changed his name in the book, too. His name was in that book, was in the Bible over 6,000 times. They took his name out and replaced it with the name of their deity, Lord. Lord means Bilal, Baal. So every time you're saying Baal, you're reading from the Bible, you're saying Lord, you're saying Baal. You're not saying Yahuwah, Yahweh. You're invoking their deity. That's what they want you to do. First of all, they want our covenant. They think they're going to get it. Second, they want to bring their Messiah. Their Messiah is not our Messiah. Just let's be clear on that. Let's be clear and honest on that. Okay, guys? Now, last night, me and my wife were watching We Woke Now channel. And he was playing an interview, I think from Oprah, where it was, I think, Jeffrey Epstein's niece. And she was saying that when she was a girl, outside of the home, they put out this picture that they were the certain religious people. But inside the house, they were Satanists. And they were doing weird stuff to kids, and she got weird stuff done to her, and we're just going to put it that way. Leave it at that. But then he played another one where it was another female. It was just, I guess, a random female. She was on another talk show. And she was saying that about her family, too. But she was saying it's a whole thing across the country. It's families across the country that do that. And they even brought up the name, Baal. So you see what I'm saying, guys? The world really ain't as it seems. There really be stuff going on behind the scenes. They be hiding stuff. You know what I mean? You never know what goes on behind your neighbor's closed doors. Never know. And they're no different. They're absolutely no different. People are gonna say, I know a lot of people say, oh, they're not the ones that changed, that took his name out of the Bible. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. The Pharisees are the ones that took his name out of the Bible. Who do you think the Pharisees are? Who do you think the Pharisees are today? They didn't go. The Pharisees didn't go away. They just changed the name of their organization. Yeah. Come on now. Come on now. Pharisees. The Pharisees hated Yeshua too. The Pharisees hated Yeshua. Guess what? They still do to this day. They still do to this day. What does their evil little book say about him? Their evil little book tells that lie that he's boiling in a pot of his own excrement. That's what they like to say. That's how they like to talk about our brother, our king, our redeemer. I ain't cool with that, bro. Seriously. That evil little book they got that was written by them in Babylon, might I add, but somehow they still want to say it's holy. How's it holy? It was written by you guys in Babylon, and it got some real nasty stuff in it about kids that I don't want to repeat. Some real nasty stuff. And I'm sorry, I don't care if you don't follow that nasty stuff. If you defend that book, you are no better. If you follow that book, you are no better. I don't care if you don't follow that part of that book or not. You know that stuff is in that book, and you continue to pick up that book and read from it, you are no better. Because you pretty much condone what it says in that book. No holy book should ever talk like that. Especially not about no kids.